Hey everybody, I'm Rich Groves, and today we're talking about the Gateway to Freedom Real Estate Investor Conference being held here in St. Louis, October 17th, 18th, and 19th. I've been a real estate investor here in the St. Louis market since 2005, bought my first investment property then, and I've been recently connecting real estate investors as well as running my real estate investing business. I'm here with my partner in crime, my co-host of the Real Estate Investing Conference of the Year, Gateway to Freedom, Josh Wiesler. Hey, Josh.
Hey, Rich. Yeah, I'm Josh Wiesler. So I'm a small business coach. I started in the investing world probably, 20 years ago, full-time about 7 years ago. And I started wholesaling, I started flipping, and then now I'm doing multifamilies and private lending. And for me, that transitioned into business coaching. And so with us, like what we want to talk about, one of the things for us is that building a team has become huge. And I'll let Rich introduce our guest on the podcast today.
Yeah, absolutely. And Gateway to Freedom is a real estate investor conference here in St. Louis. And it's for anybody that's a brand new. You've been in real estate investing 30 years or more. It's a great conference for you. And maybe if you feel like you're in a job you don't like, if you feel like you're stuck and just going through the motions in your current real estate investing business, this conference is for you. And this is the solution for you, because we have people like our first guest, Frank Ruzicka, who's been a mortgage lender for over 30 years and been in the real estate investing game and worked with a ton of real estate investors, and how he can actually help you burr your property or build a relationship with buyers so that they can easily purchase your rehab. Frank, how you doing today?
I'm great, Rich. Hey, thanks for having me today.
Sure,
appreciate it.
Yeah. Did we miss anything on that intro?
No, that's a great intro. Sometimes I forget the piece about, hey, let me help you with your potential buyers. Lawrence and I just did a podcast a couple of weeks ago, and I completely forgot that piece. So I'm going to have to call him back up and redo one to remember that. But that really is back in the day when I got involved with, just like you, Southside Investment Club. I wasn't sure I was going to be relevant. And sure enough, there's a whole lot of investors, whether they're flip or burrs, who need a permanent, lender on their team. And that's what you guys are talking about, building a team. That's exactly what this conference is about.
Yeah, so take us back a little bit. What, you've been a mortgage lender. I know you had, your family had rental properties and things like that as well. But what made you decide to get into mortgage lending?
I will say that was by accident, but it truly was my calling. I really love people realizing their dream, whether that's a dream of home ownership, whether that's a dream of owning their investment property and finding a way out from the corporate rat race, if you will. And right now, we're spending a lot of time with people who are investing in that next phase of their life. They're looking to retire. They've had a great run, but they're looking to retire, but they want something to do after they retire, and real estate is a perfect example of that. So any and all of those bring me, as I say, fill your heart, you'll fill your wallet. And truly, that's where I'm at with it. I've come a long way in my 37-year career, and this kind of thing really gets me going.
That's awesome, man. I mean, it really is. And, anybody, especially like when you got started, there probably were some uncertainties. I don't know, but what was it? How did you face your fear to say, hey, you know what, like you said, this was your calling? What made you know that this was your calling?
Well, I would say I was young and dumb back then. Truly, there's something to be said for being a little clueless and just being sent out. And, back in the day, it was rate sheets and business cards. I was bringing very little value to relationships back then. I had hair and I was good looking, but other than that, it was just I had no fear. And it's kind of cool. I'm coaching some loan officers right now, and I'm working off it's an old book, but it's a great one, Who Moved My Cheese? And there's a line out of that book that says, what could you do if you weren't afraid? Yeah. And I you know what, this conference, don't be afraid. Just join on board. Go there, and you will find a whole new group of, a whole new set of cheese, right? And there's a whole bunch of guys, gals scurrying about. There might be some hemmers and hawers there. There might be some sniffers there. Every one of those characters is going to be there. And the key to the weekend is make sure you find some new cheese.
That's awesome.
That's great.
I love that.
Yeah. And speaking on that, Frank, one of the things you had mentioned, and I know just from our time together and knowing you, you are very big on helping the next person, the coaching, mentorship, and just like being involved with experienced professionals. So one of the things that comes up and like what we know this conference is about connecting with those people like you and our other speakers. How did connecting with the coaches and experienced professionals help you as you were learning and going through your process?
Yeah, it's surrounding yourself with, what's the line? You are the makeup of the 5 books and the 5 people that you spend time with and read, right?
Yeah.
And so you go to a conference like this and you have the opportunity to interface with a Jimmy Vreeland there's 30 of them this time around.
30
right?
plus, yeah.
I can't even name.
Including you.
Yeah. I can't even begin to name, all the people that you can interface with. And, you could probably take 5 of those presenters, and that right there would be worth the price of admission. But we've got 30. And the cool part is these are folks right here in town.
Yep.
Like on any given Wednesday, you could run down to the Mac Bar and Grill and find some of these people speaking. Right.
Yeah.
That's the coolest part about this. You don't have to go to San Diego. You don't have to go to Vegas. You don't have to go. It's all right here.
So with that, one of the things that we like to do as well in this is like some advice for new investors. So what mistakes did you make that you want a newer investor in that arena to avoid?
So I will say it's sometimes being overconfident.
Okay.
In terms of thinking that you know it all or you can do it all. I can specifically remember a flip that I worked on that it's like, no, I can do that. It's like, why? Why do you want to do that? That is not your sweet spot. And sure enough, it took me a series of 3 weekends to do that one job where I probably could have had that knocked out in an afternoon by one guy or 2 guys.
Oh, yeah.
And paid a reasonable fee and not spent 3 of my weekends down on the job site working on it. But again, hey, I know I can do this. And I did, but was it the most effective use?
Yes.
And building the team, I can't stress that enough. And again, we have a great group of real estate people in this town that you can assemble the team and you can go in with confidence. And then my comment is listen to your team.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I talked about that just recently, is that sometimes you'll have somebody on your team who says, I think you need to consider this. And you're just so excited about the deal that you kind of just push that aside. And like ultimately you, the investor, are the one who makes the decision, right? You can have a great team and they can give you their warnings about it, but you're the one who's going to make the commitment to go forward or not. And sometimes we just get too excited about the deal.
It's a win or it's a lesson.
Well, and you know what, Josh, that is a great point. You can look at any failure that you have as a master class in what you were attempting to do.
Yeah.
Okay. I lost, make up a number, $5,000 on this deal, and I was hoping to make 25 grand.
Yeah.
But that $5,000 was an educational experience where I learned what not to do, or I learned what I should be doing. And so never take a failure and write it off as, oh my gosh, I should have never have done that, because in the end, there's so much to learn from that.
Huge. When I ask people and they go like, oh, I learned to never do that again. It's like, yeah, you probably didn't learn that lesson.
Seriously, you're 37 years in the business, somebody should just follow you around all day and they would learn a whole lifetime worth of stuff. But, the conference is called Gateway to Freedom here in St. Louis, October 17th, 18th, and 19th. The show is the conference called Gateway to Freedom, right? And that word freedom sticks out. And we were intentional about that word freedom. And freedom means different things to different people. But ultimately, what does freedom mean to you?
Yeah, so I think it is achieving the life that you want to achieve. And so, for me, it's an interesting, I'll say, situation, because a lot of people are coming to this event and they're looking to dump their corporate jobs. I personally love my corporate job. It has given me great freedom. I am a commissioned sales loan officer. I've done this for my entire life, and I don't find anything that gives me greater, joy. But there are folks I know who are stuck in a rut and who want to get out of that rut. They want to achieve freedom, and they can't envision how to do that. And there's folks at the conference who can show you different methods of doing that. And when I say different methods, I mean, there's all kinds of different ways you can do that in real estate. Everybody just assumes, oh, it's a buy and hold. But no, I mean, you've got guys who are doing wholesaling, and, I think at Jen Donnelly in her Section 8, and you've got multifamilies and subject twos. There's just so many different ways to attack this. And I would say for anybody who is on the fence, just look at this as an investment in yourself. Take the time, take the small amount of money involved, and go and listen. And you're going to find something that's going to speak to you, right? And once you start that journey, there's nothing greater than that, than realizing success, that you've plotted out and you've been consistent in your efforts, and now it's coming to fruition. That is one of the greatest feelings in the world.
Frank, you want to share how people can connect with you, your social media handles, email,
so
whatever?
I've got a couple things going on. I have a Facebook page. It's not a business Facebook page. It's just Frank Ruzicka, and I'm out there on Facebook, and I post all kinds of stuff. And I've been told you probably shouldn't do some of that stuff, but I do. Trust me, I'm staying way far away from politics this time of year. And I'm on LinkedIn. Again, Frank Ruzicka out there. You'll see I'll usually have the Guild logo on there and so forth. But also a podcast, The Money Guys, Lawrence and Frank. That's been something that we've been working on for the past year. It's been really fun. We are probably going to try to do a live remote from the event. That's one of our goals.
Yeah.
But Guild Mortgage, right here in St. Louis, to the extent that you can find me, I'm pretty easy to find on the web. I'm not hiding out there. So Google Frank Ruzicka Guild Mortgage, and it's going to pop up pretty much consistency.
Awesome. Frank, I really appreciate your time today. Thanks so much for being with us. I mean, it's an honor to have you come back as being another speaker at the event. I mean, I couldn't envision us doing this without you. So I appreciate you.
Yeah. Piggybacking on that, Rich, you've been one of our greatest champions and our greatest ambassadors in our corner. And we love having you and your energy just in our sphere. So we thank you very much. Guys,
I can't thank you enough for, one, having me here today, but then two, having me back, because it's just a tremendous event. I can't wait for it. Like I said, it's bigger and better than last year. And last year was a hit. It really was. First time attempt at something like that. You guys did an amazing job. And I can only imagine how cool this one's going to be. Thanks, guys.
Just like real estate, it's a team effort, man.
That's right. That's right. So if you like what Frank had to say and you think, man, I really got to meet Frank and these 30 people he's talking about, you need to go out and get your ticket today to Gateway to Freedom, again, being held here in St. Louis, October 17th, 18th, and 19th this year in South County, St. Louis. To get your tickets and even more information, go to www.free.com. You can also check out our Facebook page, Gateway to Freedom, and check out the links in the show notes.
Yep. And on top of that, if you can't wait, what do we have available for them as far as the RIAs go?
Yeah. I mean, if you are interested in connecting with people in the St. Louis area at other real estate investor events, go out to g2free.com, g2free.com. There's a link there to get the list. I've compiled a list of all the real estate investing groups here in St. Louis. There's over 15. If you want a list that shows you or tells you what those are, when they meet, go out to g2free.com, click the link, get the list, or check out the link in the show notes.
Thank you, everyone, for listening, and have a great day.